Hey guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey, back with another video. I want to give you guys a quick little update. It was in reference to one of my most recent videos with one of my good friends that I went to college with, who actually did the Ancestry DNA test. She found out quite a bit of things in reference to what is actually going to be presented to her. And I want to kind of give you guys a quick update because I did receive some juicy details as of recent. And I want to keep you guys in the loop on it. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and just jump right in. So just to kind of bring some of you guys up to speed, I did an Ancestry DNA update. I think it was a part 3. That was the latest video in regards to this scenario. Not only did I talk about my own latest details, but I also talked about the details in reference to one of my good pals. One of my pals that I was very closely aligned with during my undergrad years. She was a nursing major. She's actually in the field currently as it stands. So she was kind of giving me her backstory. So it turns out in her case, she ended up getting back some results that was a bit jolting on her side also. But she just later found out that not only is she the rightful heir to an inheritance, but also that there was a house that was left back for her, like that was left behind for her. Excuse me for that. So she's just in the whole process of trying to get all that squared away to figure out what steps need to be done. She did mention something, and I didn't get a chance to look into it, so I do apologize, but it was something about probate. So she's looking into all of that and what steps to take. Now, what happened, it looks like maybe some of her family members who hid this from her had got wind of it, that she's now aware of it. And, you know, they started really just like trying to find ways to harass her. She's been very chilled about it, she said, but she noticed a few things. Like, for instance, in terms of her online activities, like maybe in terms of her email system, things like that. She's noticing there appear to be some type of like system glitches that keeps popping up every time she accesses her emails. She's noticing also whenever she's like heading into the hospital or she's like leaving the hospital that she works at, she's noticing random vehicles, people that look familiar to her, that appear to be showing up each day that she's at work. Not only that, but she's been noticing some very odd activity with some of the very people that she works on shift with, which I think that's very telling within itself as well. Now, the funny thing about it, she's always been very analytical. And I always used to commend her for that because she was just, and a lot of times her being analytical was pretty spot on. So the fact that she's able to notice these type of details, I knew she was onto something. And it's, in my opinion, it's very unfortunate that well, I'm saying as if I'm talking to her, that you're dealing with individuals like this that are so money hungry, that they would even go to these lengths just to try to make sure you don't get it. Now, what she's been doing, which is so interesting, she said the approach she's been taking is that she's been doing a lot of recording. So she'll record various conversations she'll have with certain individuals that are on her shift that she knows that she should not have any dealings with, that she does not trust. Furthermore, what she's also been doing has been recording any vehicles that's been sitting in various areas for long periods of time. She'll capture their license plate, as well as the actual individual in the vehicle. And she's been sending that material off to the proper authorities. It turns out, from what I understand, whoever these individuals are that are doing this to her, she said that there's actually undercover, like I think is either government or the cops, law enforcement. I believe they're actually watching her, but they're watching her for another reason, and it's not in a bad way, but it's just because it was another incident that had came up, and little do these people realize now they are a part of the equation, and now they're being monitored too. So she mentioned that the hospital, the location itself, is actually now under surveillance because of these individuals. Apparently she believes that someone had, the story is like out of this world. Now that I think about it, it's like, wow, that people go to these great lengths to do this. So she believes that one of her family members, or maybe more than one, was trying to pay this person like a hitman to take her out. And from what I understand, it has now gotten to the point that it's gotten internal to where she works in the hospital. Now, I'm not sure if they even paid these individuals that work with her or if they were in the process of doing it. But I do know she did say that they now are being surveilled because there appeared to be like some transaction that took place. And they believe one of the undercover agents had caught it. They didn't do the transaction, but they caught it, and they were just trying to see why. So now they're now a part of the case. And the big thing about this, people need to understand, when you do get involved with stuff like this, it can kind of get messy, because now you are a part of something which is known as a premeditated murder. That's not good. You don't even have to touch a person, but the fact that you even initiated and partaken in this process, you now become a part of the equation. You get time for that. And it could go deeper than that. That's alarming. So I just understand there's no amount of money in this world. Why would you subject yourself to something like that? It just doesn't make sense. It's kind of like the saying that money is the root of all evil. I don't think that that's necessarily true, but I think that in this day and age especially, some people seem to not think straight when they're thrown a few thousand in front of them. The interesting thing about it too is because, from what I understand, these very individuals who made this agreement with this person to try to unalive her, is basically the way she had broken down to me. These very individuals are not going to even be able to get the money. So the ones that made this promise to actually pay this individual who works with her, or these group of individuals that work with her, to try to take her out, unalive her, the very money they think they're going to get, they're not going to get. And they have to understand there's a reason why they're having you and these other people attempt this on her. It's because it couldn't be done before. They couldn't do it. There's a reason behind it, because they know, in fact, that they too are being monitored by undercovers. And now it's just a ball of confusion, because now you are a part of the equation. It's very sad, I think. And I feel for her. I told her that I would pray for her, but at the same time, knowing the type of person she is and knowing the type of force we have in terms of government agencies in reference to law enforcement all over, the type of force we have, do you really think you can trump that? You got to be a complete idiot. And to think that you can even try to pull a stunt like this without anyone knowing. What you actually did, they were actually monitoring her for something else completely different, but now you became a part of the equation. Like, how stupid do you feel? And all along, the funny part about it too is because she stated that she knew she was being watched. She made that very clear. She was like, she knew it wasn't for anything of her doing. She knew that was more so because of protection from something else. And she ended up getting further proof of that. And now you have now become a part of the equation. Sucks to be you. We both discussed this, and I really couldn't believe my ears. And I told her, I said, well, from the looks of it, it looks like they need to maybe step down and maybe try to walk away from this and try to keep their hands cleared. See, this is where it gets interesting, because even if they were to step away, whoever it may be, in terms of, this whole plan they were trying to take out, everything's been captured. And on top of that, it's kind of like the saying, it's a little too late. So even though they didn't even get the ultimate amount of money, or maybe they only got like maybe a few thousand, who knows? If they try stepping away now, that still won't do anything, because they partaken in the process that was premeditated. It's considered premeditated, which in turn, you can't run from. It's a little too late. This definitely takes that notion of when you find out that you're worth more dead than alive to a whole new level. you know, when we think of that type of phrase, we think of it in the sense of like a celebrity, right? You know, like someone who's famous, like who may be already worth so much based on their, you know, being in the public eye. And then you find out when, of course, when they pass on, you see how sales in terms of their records or their movies, past movies, tend to skyrocket. Anything pertaining to action figures, collector's items tend to skyrocket. It literally does the day that it posts that this person has passed away. It's funny how stuff like that works. So it just goes to show you that even for someone who's not famous, such as like my old, you know, classmate, this could be applicable to anyone, even someone like her. But I think it's good to know. It's very telling, and I think it's pretty amazing to know the type of force we have when it comes to our legal system, and just to know that they are always there. They're always going to keep their eyes peeled. And she even made a statement about it. I thought this was like so adorable. She said that, you know, if I ever get a chance to cross paths with the individuals who are doing this, who are looking after me, she said, I want to thank them personally myself. And I say, you know what? If they ever decide to reveal themselves to you because they are undercover, I think you should. You know, it's funny too, because some of us, we just know. There's certain things that you just know, like when you're dealing with someone who's undercover and who's not. Some people don't have a keen eye for it because either they don't know of anyone who works in that space or things like that. But then there's some of us who just know, like, okay, you're not who you're pretending to be. But you have to have a very keen eye for stuff like that. So to make a long story short, I told her, I said, I think you should. I think you should definitely thank them if they ever decide to step up. I'm sure they will, because at some point they got to present the information to her to let her know what's all been going on in the background that she may not be aware of. Because she apparently knows quite a bit, but they have to kind of like, I guess, bring it full circle for her at some point. And I think this is going to be an interesting journey. It seems like, I mean, my story is very interesting, but hers is like extremely interesting for sure. And I was going to say, I kind of feel sorry in some way for the ones who got tied into this equation, but then I thought about it. I don't feel sorry for them. I actually think it's pretty hilarious, because now this is the case where the hunter becomes the hunted, literally. And now they became the ones on the opposite end of the stick, and they're being hunted. So it's like, while you think that you're monitoring her in terms of her day-to-day and, you know, in a sense, stalking her, even on the clock, on the job, you're on site, but you don't even realize that there's undercovers that are on site as well as off site on the outside that's monitoring the entire location. Now, what's interesting, because this is going to get real messy, I have a gut feeling that this is going to go on the news. I don't know why, but the more I look into these details, I really think that this is going to definitely go global, on a global scale, as far as like the news. Part of the reason is because it's dealing with a really big hospital. It's a big building. And the fact of the matter is that when it's something like that, this is the part that I don't understand, why people didn't think this through before they even tried to agree to do something premeditated. Why do people do stupid crap like this? I don't understand. But as far as, you know, the origins of this hospital and how it was created and by whom, that alone is what's going to make this go global, literally. Like, if you guys only knew. It's going to be very telling, and I'm going to be there right in the front and center with my popcorn, ready to watch it all. I'd like to know you guys' thoughts about this. I'm going to get some more details, because I'm telling you, this is just like what they call a telenovela. Is that what it's called? It's really juicy, but it's like really intense. It's more of like an action film, I would say, in this case, because this is just like some really intense stuff. Like, people really don't think things through. I think her scenario is so unique because initially the undercovers were watching her because of one particular reason, for protection purposes, and yet now it's like another scenario has now looped itself into the equation because of these idiots. This is going to be really interesting, but I'm loving every bit of it, and I cannot wait to see how the turnout becomes in reference to it. And I mean, just to think about it, you know, after all this is said and done, she will never have to work another day in her life. Like what I said in my previous video in reference to this, she'll never have to lift another finger in a day of her life. And in reference to any little ones she decides to, you know, bring on into this world, as far as like any kids, things like that, you know, to know that they too may never have to work another day in their life, or ever work a day in their life, I should say. That's pretty amazing. It just goes to show you that whatever is done in the dark truly does come into the light. And this is a very solid example of that. And I told her, you know, once I got the latest, I said, you need to be very thankful and grateful for it all in terms of what God and the team has done. This is nothing but God, because it revealed so much stuff to her that she was unaware of. Like, wow, this is all happening behind my back. And I was like, why me? Like, why me? And that was the real thing that just, she kept drilling. She didn't quite understand. I was like, a lot of times things happen and fall into your place for no reason. But this, honey, is one of those things, there was a reason for it. Like, I feel like this was something that was destined to happen. And I told her, just know that God is not going to ever put you in a predicament where you're going to be harmed. He's not. So the fact that these individuals even thought they could even try to take some act out on her, they might want to think twice. It's kind of like what I said in my previous videos. Try God if you want to, but you just might not want to. That is all for today's video. What do you guys think about this? As always, I'm going to definitely keep you posted. I haven't had anything as far as any updates as of recent in terms of my scenario, but I will keep you posted once I do get more details on that side of the spectrum. But in reference to my old classmates scenario with all that's going on here, how do you guys feel about this? This is really, really, really juicy, and I am very excited for her. I told her, don't forget about the little guys. Like, don't forget about me. But she knows, you know, we're really good pals, and I'm sure she wouldn't. But she said she will definitely keep me posted with whatever else comes in. So I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts about it. I did express to her that I will be sharing this on my channel, so she is aware of it. She's not comfortable yet with getting on the camera. So I think at some point after all of this passes and, you know, everything has been exchanged in reference to the inheritance and the house and all of that, and whatever she was saying with probate, I still haven't looked into that. So she said she's doing some digging on it. But I'm sure once all of this is done, she'll eventually be open enough to talk about it. But like I was telling you guys before, I really have a feeling that this is going to hit the news. I have a feeling that this may be something that goes global for sure. And even if it's not global, maybe just more on a national scale. But knowing that it's going to hit the U.S. pretty much on a national scale, I could really see that being the case. Because it's something big. And now it was dealing with one scenario, and now it's another scenario looped into it because of premeditated actions. Not good. So yeah, definitely leave your thoughts in the comment section below, or also you can send it to me on my other social platforms. Also, as far as consultations are still open for the fact that we are going into a new week. So definitely check that out. I believe I got a notification, was it like midday yesterday? Someone was having an issue with scheduling an appointment through my link. I am actually going to reach out to the tech support to see what's going on with that. But, you know, just to kind of save you some time, if any of you are encountering that as well and you want to set up an appointment for a consultation, just reach out to me on my other platforms, or you can leave me a message down below in the comment section, and I'll make sure to schedule it with you accordingly. And as a matter of fact, I would say just why not message me on the other platforms, like in the messaging box, because like when I need your contact details, you want to send it there. I would rather you do that than versus posting it in the comment section below, because then your information is exposed. So yeah, now that I think about it, just send me a comment like on my other platforms, like, well, send me a message on my other platforms is what I meant to say. So with that being said, I'm definitely sending you guys with love and light, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.